Please. Let's start with Mike first.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try a new opening. I'm trying a new opening.
I love it. Alright. Just count down fast so there's something cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, do you want to know about comics? Do you want to be able to jump right in with your favorite characters no matter what's going on? If you're like us, you do. Yeah. Welcome to News, where we break down just that. Everything you need to know about your favorite characters so you can jump right in with the action. I'm your host, Odell.
JT.
And this is our show. What's on the agenda?
Not much. Pretty interesting week, of course, as usual. But the one piece of news that is particularly dear to my heart is the Doctor Strange pictures that came out. Simply because I'm incredibly excited about the movie. And so just starting to see some real images come out kind of just proves to me that it's real. I mean, I know it was real, but like reinforces this one-time dream that it's here and will be viewable soon, less than a year away. So.
Now, for me, I wasn't a big Doctor Strange fan growing up, so I'm not really sure what to expect from this movie.
It's going to be a pretty traditional origin story in the sense that it'll explain, so it appears based on the pictures that were released at least, that it'll explain how he was a famous neurosurgeon, he got his hands hurt, he traveled to Nepal for seeking a mystic healer, mystical master, and it was under that man that he ended up training to gain his mystical abilities. He never did fix his hands and become a surgeon again. He, of course, now became what eventually would become the Sorcerer Supreme, which is the head guardian on Earth of all things like magic or demonic or
mystical.
Yeah, basically anything like that. He's like the top sheriff. And so I think you're going to kind of see that progression, basically. So, of course, there'll be betrayal, which will turn into a main enemy, so that there is an actual conquest or a contest between two superheroes as opposed to just the superhero and his conscience. But it's the same thing with all of these movies. That's what you're going to get. So the only thing that's different is this one's going to have fighting in the ethereal range. That'll be an interesting thing to see because it'll be very akin to when they were doing the molecule scenes with Ant-Man, where he was super small and everything was to scale. It was almost a different world they created. Same thing they did with Guardians of the Galaxy, sort of to a lesser extent, because now you have a galactic scale as opposed to this. Well, in Doctor Strange, it would be a magical landscape instead of like space or everything super big. Okay. So again, still not really anything new in the sense of they've done that before. So I'm just I don't think it's going to be the best movie they've ever made. I guess that's where I'm going with this. I think it's going to be kind of like that's a standard Marvel introduction, but they'll get rave reviews because it has magic and that's the first time that it's being seen, and so that's cool. But
I think that's actually one of its strongest selling points.
It's really its only one.
Well, no, I don't think you can do Infinity Wars without Doctor Strange.
No. Don't get me wrong. I think Doctor Strange needs to be in the MCU, but I don't know that we necessarily needed another origin story in the same vein as all the other origin stories. I guess that's kind of what I was saying.
Well, I mean,
I think the movie could have been better.
Giving us too many more origin stories. Like, I don't think we're going to get an origin story in the Inhumans. In the sense of,
because they're doing
Black Clover child. Here's him when he gets his powers.
No, you won't. I'm not going to see any of that. And you're not even going to get a true Inhumans introduction because they're doing that right now with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So they're basically just saying, look, in 2 years or 3 years when we finally release Inhumans, we don't need to explain shit. We'll have had all these,
If you wanted to know.
You had all the plans. By the time they get to the actual Inhuman movies, they'll have already introduced all the Inhumans. They're going to have to just to keep up with pace over the next couple of years. So,
I do have one more Doctor Strange question. Well, actually, two more. Did he use magic to get that mustache?
Yes. And around it that way. I mean, he can use magic to do all kinds of things, including groom himself.
So,
But it's not a magical mustache per se.
you sure?
Well, in the sense
it's
that
perfect, and nobody has a perfect mustache.
well, see, he was somebody that prided himself on his appearance even before. In fact, more so than before or after his training, because before he was a neurosurgeon, he was a very cocky, a personality. So he was very much trying to look the best he could all the time anyway. So that wasn't something that was in any way related to his hero story.
Okay. Alright. And will there be any Infinity Stone action in this movie?
I think so. I think it'll be the what would it be? The Mind Gem? No, Time Gem. What's left? What's left?
I'm thinking it's going to be the Reality Gem.
They already have that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. Reality was in
Thor.
the
Yeah.
ether. Sorry. Because the diehards will hang us for getting that wrong.
Because that's the first thing we've got. There's a reason we call it noobs, people.
Yes. We're for
Not for
everybody
the
who
audience.
doesn't know. The reason the show's called Noobs is because we're now almost as new to this as you are. So what we're trying to do here is give you everything you need to know to be able to jump in with the story in the middle of it and not necessarily be lost.
Right. But we don't ever do that.
Yeah, we do it sometimes.
No, we talk about comic stuff. We've never actually given any kind of useful information. There's no way.
No. Episode 1, we gave a lot of useful information in episode 1. But
The audio podcast?
The what?
The one nobody's gonna watch? Because
Was it audio? I thought it was. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're on topic. Sorry.
again,
We're gonna cut all this out, by the way.
no, it's going live.
No, we'll cut that.
It's not gonna happen.
It's fine. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Nothing.
The stones.
Yeah,
the
that
stones.
too.
The time one is left, but I think we're gonna get that one in Thor Ragnarok.
I don't really.
Yeah. Well, here's my theory.
What's left again? We got Soul. Is it just time that's left?
No, it's 2. It's time and
It's not space.
it should. No, it is. It's Soul.
No, space. It is Soul. I thought that was the Mind Gem. That what's his
Yeah,
name? That's what it was.
Oh yeah. By the way, Marvel, that was weird
Why?
because Loki.
Loki?
When Loki had the
Oh,
staff in
the
Avengers
staff.
1 and used it, he took over people's minds. And even Barton refers to him as you have somebody take your mind and just play with it. So it didn't make sense for in Avengers 2, once, Ultron cracked the shielding on the stone, it was all of a sudden the Soul Gem. Didn't make
It's
sense.
not the
that
Soul
way.
Gem. It's the Mind Gem.
No, it's the Soul Gem.
No, are you sure?
Yep.
I thought it was the Mind Gem.
It should be the Mind
Is that why
Gem.
I'm confused?
It should be the Mind Gem.
Because I thought the Soul Gem was going to be Doctor Strange. And then the Time Gem is going to be Star Wars. It's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Because he has to go back in time to find his father.
Is that what he's doing?
I think.
Because I thought.
Well, no, they probably won't do that in the movie. But in the comics, there was time travel was involved. I mean, Star-Lord and his dad technically were separated by like thousands of years. But because of the, basically he was born, and then what it was is they actually sent Peter Quill back in time, if I remember correctly, to the time before all the destruction. So he's actually, in that one, I think he's actually, in the comics, he's actually an advanced race, and a super evolved race.
In the comics pre-Secret Wars.
No, that's true. Everything's goddamn changed now.
Everything post-Secret Wars is up in the air. You kind of have to breed up.
But, so I guess in the movies now, and presumably maybe even in the new comics, he's actually an ancient race of people. And his father was like the last king or something as they were getting wiped out, and he sent his son away to live as, half human, or Terra mother, so. So that's why I was thinking time would be involved in him. And also, time doesn't really have anything to do with Doctor Strange. Now, Soul would be the perfect match for Doctor Strange. Like, that's the kind of thing that he would have.
That's what made it so weird in Avengers 2. It was like, well, it's the mind, it's the soul gem, and that's why Vision was alive, I guess, in a sense.
That's true. Well, but you know what? Mind Gem could work for Doctor Strange too.
I mean, yeah,
because he's in his mind when he's fighting his demons and whatnot. He's basically just in a trance, extreme meditation. He's astral projecting his mind. You could also argue soul, which is why I was thinking soul gem, but his mind, his consciousness into this astral plane, and that's where he's doing battle.
But remember, we also have to introduce Adam Warlock, who is also essential to Infinity War.
Sure, but he would be not introduced through Doctor Strange. He would be introduced through
a gem.
Not always. He doesn't always have a gem.
I mean, they're not a person, but
no, like
as far as I figured when he was introduced,
he might have had one.
He had the soul
in
gem
the series. I think
he was
maybe no.
He had the soul gem for quite some time.
Sure, because he had it not in his head.
Yeah.
But he doesn't always have it, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it is theoretically possible they could introduce him without a gem, is all I'm saying. You could do it.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a thing. And the other thing is, clearly they're playing with the characters enough that it wouldn't even be a stretch where and actually it would probably make just as much sense for Time to be with Adam Warlock. So they could still introduce him with a gem.
I don't see Time being anywhere but in Ragnarok.
Why? Because there's going to be Armageddon, not to go back in time?
I think he will have to use the time gem to travel outside of time to face, if that's the route they go.
I don't know what I don't know what they're going to do in that movie.
They played it very close to the chest.
Yeah, it's definitely piqued my interest, and I'm very excited because they did such a good job with the other two. They're by far my favorite of the individual character storylines in the movies. Like, even more so than Captain America. I thought Captain America Winter Soldier was a better movie, but I thought the stories presented was better as a whole. Interweaving with Avengers, I thought Thor had a better storyline.
Okay, I can see that over Captain America.
Right, even though I thought Captain America was, at least the second one was, a better movie. In the sense of it had a little bit better story, it had a little bit, or I should, I think it was better written. I don't even think it was bigger. I think the action was just more, you could relate to it, so it felt more impactful. Not necessarily bigger, just in relation to in scale made more sense than, say, destroying an entire, world or whatever, or city. But it's a magical city in another part of the universe that we've never seen, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's all aliens anyway. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's why when you play video games where you shoot aliens, it's not considered gore. It's considered animated violence. Because you're not killing a human.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, well, you're killing an alien. So the idea is that, you're not actually killing a human, so it's not the same thing as actually, like, violence towards your own kind. It'd be like a deer hunting game can be rated G. Because you're not killing humans, you're killing a deer.
Animals don't have souls, and apparently neither do aliens. Anywho.
Yeah, we way went off on a rabbit hole on that one. That's awesome. That's okay though. That's what's fun.
That's what this show is about.
Yeah, that's what I think. Nobody gets anything productive out of this. Hopefully they get at least some enjoyment.
I hope this is not only entertaining, but I tried to sprinkle a little bit of them.
Yeah, I know you do. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't want to spoil anything, but because hopefully you're going out and you're buying the book.
Yeah, but assuming you're watching this, you probably already have. I'm just saying. But they've already read it if they're going to read it. And then, yeah, by all means, go ahead and read the book. So, no. Again.
Almost went off, sorry.
All that to say, this is very much an opinion podcast, not an educational one. Hopefully people enjoy it. Some of the time. Most of the time. I'll take whatever.
Okay, next topic.
Debate. Was it? Oh, no, you got another topic?
News-ish
related? general run of the mill. I will say, well, it's kind of a debate, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna say I really like for what I've read of Secret Wars this week. I know we're not really going into
You
the
read
reviews yet.
Secret Wars?
Yeah. And Battle World.
I didn't. All I found out was there was a bunch of Thors fighting, and I.
Oh my God! So you've only read the Thors.
No.
You only read.
I picked
What
up
did you
the Secret
read?
Wars comic. I opened it. I looked at the pictures. I flipped
Oh,
to the
no,
pictures,
no.
and I closed the book. And you know why? Because we're in week 4 of all different Marvel, and I refuse to go back and read a story when you're already telling me how it ended in other books.
But they didn't. That's the thing. I don't think they're doing that. I think you're seeing. Oh my God! Your things fell.
Maybe.
Your thing fell. Can you feel
We are going to fire the prop guy. Don't worry.
Anywho, sorry about that.
Fire.
Calls again. Fuck it. But
Jerry, you're fired.
shut that door. Poor Jerry alone. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Secret Wars.
I like what they're doing this week. And
what is going on in Secret Wars? Spoiler warning, if you don't want a spoiler,
yeah, I'm
mute your computer for about a minute.
Yeah, that'll work. We'll do like a cool "it's okay now" sign.
Give me a thumbs up.
There you go. So, I think what I liked about it is the way they all played it really. I guess they always do, but they all played it really close together. So you felt like you were almost like, and I hate to use this analogy, almost like Crash, the movie Crash, the horrible TV show based on the movie Crash, where it was one string of events, but you saw it from like 6 different perspectives. I mean, that's what they're doing, essentially. And so you get a little bit of background information on each segment from the main players in that series during that time.
Okay.
And so I think that's really cool because of the fact that at least this week it's a fairly major battle. It's actually a very large battle that's made up of several smaller battles. And what's really kind of cool is, like you mentioned, the Thors, which at first I didn't like the idea that there's there's all these Thors, there's 6 generals. It's like I know what you're doing.
Because I could see being that they're pulling all these alternate realities together. I could see there be a Thor everywhere, and that make up the army. So that's logical.
No, I can understand why they did it. I just find it to be particularly annoying.
What I didn't like is that they all looked alike, for the most part.
It was
80% of them looked big, blonde, blue-eyed white guys.
right, and then the frog.
And Frog.
Right.
And Storm. And Groot.
Groot was pretty cool.
I am Groot.
No, he said, "I am Thor."
I am Groot. Thor.
No, it's Thor.
Thor Groot.
How genius would it be of Marvel, side note, to have freaking the guy from Fast and Furious, what's his name?
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, okay. To have Vin Diesel do the voice of one character and the fucking body of another character.
Genius.
So goddamn good. Anyway.
You know what I want? Not to sidetrack. I want a comic where I can understand what the fuck Groot is talking about. He didn't even have. Nobody else in the comic has to be able to understand it.
Yeah, do a translation for it.
Just give me
once.
thought bubbles.
Just
He's
once.
like, oh my god, I'm so thirsty. I really want some water.
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be
this
such a
is
good
pretty.
comic.
I am Groot.
That would be
You're
such
so
a fun
stupid.
comic.
I would love that book. I would read.
I would like to
every
write that book. That would be a fun one.
Because he just be saying the most obnoxious things in the world.
He'd be like such a horrible person. I would totally make him such a horrible. He'd be like talking to the Peter Quill. Like, your plans are always so dumbass, fucking idiot. What the hell is wrong with
He's
you?
Mountain Borealis is like, you're just a knockoff, Spidey. I am Groot.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Or like Raccoon. This whole time, Raccoon thinks it's his friend, and really he hates the Raccoon. He's like, God damn, Murphy, get off my head, you piece of shit.
Stupid fucking road.
You smell so bad.
Take a bow. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
That would be a fun.
Sorry to sidetrack people. That was.
That's a good one.
We're gonna make that happen.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Secret Wars still. The
Ah.
Thors and how the battle was tied in. Because I
Well,
read
I
the
like the
Thors.
Thors at first. But anyway, you know.
And then I was like, okay, so the Thors are going to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered as I was looking through Secret Wars 7, I saw these Thors running around in this big fight going on. I was like, okay. Thors are fighting. I'm going to go get Uncanny Avengers now. It's just kind of walked away.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to get it. I really will just want to wait for the trade. But that means I would probably be waiting till February.
Yeah, and then you're going to get more reveals and stuff that are going to sneak out in other titles that you're going to be. Oh, there goes that. I don't know. I see what they're doing, sort of. I don't know how I feel about Doctor Doom being the lord of this world with Molecule Man. Like, that's who you pick, Doctor Doom.
It made sense.
I mean,
and for me, it was like giving Doom his just due.
You said he's getting fucked over right now.
Doom, arguably the smartest, one of the smartest minds in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, fair enough.
And he's pretty high up on the power scale. When you factor in the fact that he not only has powers, but machines at his will, and he's a master, leader. And he has an entire country, along with magic. He's pretty powerful. The guy he can pull some strings, he can do some things.
That's true, I guess.
So it's kind of like Marvel going, you know what? You are the biggest Earthbound baddie. Here you go.
Well, and that's almost what, and that is almost what, even like Apocalypse is working under him.
I didn't think Doom was going to make it out of Secret Wars. And that's, going into Secret Wars, that was my original way of coping with him being the god of the world. Okay, they're trying to get rid of him along with the Fantastic Four, and they're trying to tie a nice little bow on it. They're giving him one last great big send-off. Cool. And then he popped up in Iron Man, and I was like, what the fuck? Why are you here? So I don't know now. Now I just feel
like he's too good of a character to throw away.
I think maybe, that could possibly what they were going to do. We're getting rid of the whole thing. Doom everybody. Doom is really...
You can fight other people.
Yeah, you can keep Doom.
Yeah, you can get rid of the.
You know what's weird? The only person who hasn't, and if you haven't figured this out by now, too bad. Even if you're a noob, you should have caught on to this by now. The only person who hasn't shown up from the Fantastic Four post-Secret Wars is the Invisible Woman. I mean,
I'm sure she'll turn up.
Thing's a Guardian. Johnny's Inhuman.
Is he an Inhuman?
Well, he's with the Inhuman.
Yeah, I think
he's begging Medusa.
Yeah, no, you know what? He's not an Inhuman. Remember, he's the ambassador for the UN or for America 1 to the Inhumans.
So he's pretty much begging him.
He's a no, yeah. I can't blame him for that. But basically now he works for the government. I mean, he's a diplomat. He's not even a superhero now. He's like a diplomat, and then
Reed's a villain.
Yeah. And then Thing is going to play, not to go off on a tangent again, but Thing is going to play, it looks like a pretty big role in the next issue of Secret Wars.
I got that.
Yeah.
I got that. Even without reading 7, just with the way that 6 ended and the way that Siege ended, I was like, okay, he's going to be a major player. And I really wouldn't be surprised if the entire ending of this thing rides solely on the shoulders of the Fantastic Four as a whole. And that's with Valeria and Franklin and Reed and Sue and Ben, and they find a way to get Johnny out of the fucking sun. And they figure out a way to deal with Doom.
Maybe.
Because
but I mean, like, even right now in Battleworlds, you're talking about Reed Richards is, getting ready to launch this counterattack in this week's issue, and they're like, what a great plan or something like that. Not my plan, Black Panther's plan. Who, by the way, is the King of the Dead, and that is awesome. and that's going to play a huge role in next week or next issue.
And
He has an Army of the Dead. I'm just going to say it is an Army of the Dead.
January is when this thing is wrapping up, supposedly. So we have 2 more months. And we got 2 issues. So if everything stays on schedule.
Well, no, it's at the tipping point now. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, next issue is going to be the basically the pretty much the final blows, and then after that you're just going to have the cleanup and the reestablishing. Like, it makes sense. Like, it's definitely coming to a point. To a peak.
So that's it. That'll be. I'm gonna wait for the trade.
At any rate, it's a good story arc.
I think I enjoyed. Well, that's a question. What were your favorite tie-ins from Secret Wars, if any? Because I can tell you mine were number one. The Thor's was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All the way through, completely amazing. And for everybody who hasn't read it, pick it up because it does kind of give you hints as to why Thor couldn't lift his hammer.
And it eventually gets to the point where it explains Jane
Yes.
being Thor, like why that's not as far-fetched as it sounds.
What else? I really enjoyed Deadpool's Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very cool, very interesting story. Siege was amazing. I really enjoyed Siege and just the way it was written because it was written almost like a war journal in certain spots where she was just chronicling what was happening, not necessarily to her, but just what she was witnessing, like in different battles. Because there was a scene where she had like 1,000 clones of Scott, and they had like a giant optic beam that they were using. Just her description of it was really cool, the way they worded and wrote it out. I wanted to get into 1872.
I didn't like any of that.
I heard it was really good, but I just...
No, I didn't care for that. I don't like alternate timelines. I don't like... I'm kind of glad they're converging everything into one universe.
Are they?
I think. Isn't that the whole point of this? Is to come back out on the other side as one?
I don't think they were necessarily... That was the point. Because...
I kind of thought that was the whole point of... They were explaining in the Ultimates. Like, this is the 8th iteration of the universe or whatever.
Yes. That's true.
And so now everything's become so diverged in its multiverse that life resets, and now we have one. And then maybe then you'll start getting new multiverses, but it'll start back at one. And then that universe will grow and multiverse will grow, just like it has Golden Age and Bronze Age and so forth.
But how do you explain the Web Warrior comic? Because they're fighting multiversal conflicts.
Well, yeah, but maybe because Battleworld hasn't finished up yet.
But no, this is post Secret Wars, so Battleworld is over. So there has to be alternate realities. The multiverse still has to exist.
Yeah.
Even if it's...
Well, I guess...
Even if it can't be seen yet, it's still there.
Sure.
I think that
maybe what I'm saying is, as far as like the titles, if we're talking about it from our world perspective, the titles will start back at one universe, and then maybe slowly branch out.
Now, a lot of them were kind of converged into one universe.
Yeah, like they took the good of all the different lines and put them into one.
That's why we have Miles Morales Spider-Man and Peter Parker Spider-Man in the same world.
Yeah.
Even though they're not really interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Which is, I dig it. Because, and not to go off, but I think what they were doing with that is they were kind of saying, want to see what would have happened had Spider-Man been a part of a team when he was in his younger years?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have the Fantastic Four, but we got a version of the Avengers. Here you go. Let's watch him grow up. I would be surprised if he isn't the main character, or at least take on the majority of the role of the storytelling in that comic, in the all different Avengers.
Probably. But
I can see it focusing more on the younger
But I think he's going to grow into that position. I think he's going to just start that way. Like, I think he'll start getting more significant as a story element as he matures as a character. I could be wrong. But, Alright, so let's talk about the debate of the week.
Okay.
Which is not, it's something that's kind of ongoing, so
I think you just want me to go on a tangent.
the jury is still out. I kind of want to go on instead. But the idea is, the debate is Gordon as Batman, and really the whole Snyder line. Is this good for Batman? Is it good for the character as a whole? Where is this going? Talking about multiple universes. You got Batman, you got Batman and Robin, you got Batman and Robin Eternal, you got the crossovers with Superman and such. It's like you got Dark Side Wars. You're like, geez, So anyway, there's a lot of Batmans. All that to say, Batman. Talking about Snyder's Batman. I know how you feel about the bunny. You don't like the bunny.
Bad Buddy next suit. To be honest, this is a tremendous blow to the legacy of Batman.
See, I thought the same thing until this issue, but I'll go to that in a minute.
And here's why. Other than Superman, Batman was the only other superhero who stood for a concrete ideal. With Superman, he is the absolute best of us, no matter.
He's the Boy Scout.
What. He's always told the truth. He always does what's right.
He's Captain America.
Yes, and we get that. Even though sometimes we don't want it, sometimes we hate it, we get that, and they never mess that up.
Yeah. Well,
as far as when he's being Superman, when he's adult, mature Superman, that's it.
Well, he's still killed though, which you can see breaks the ideal. No, I won't pick her.
Because he kills as a last resort sort of thing. In most cases.
This is Batman. But there's supposedly this unbreakable line that they both break. But that's an argument for a different day. Moving on.
Batman was the uncorruptible, always prepared backbone of DC. If anybody was going to figure out how to fucking fix a problem,
it was Batman.
It was Batman. If anybody was going to lose, but figure out a way to win afterwards, it was Batman.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, Superman
turned around.
Superman just died.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't
come back and
he came back and started fighting again. Batman had his back broken, hired a crazy guy to do his job for him.
First Batman mech suit.
Then healed. Wait, first Batman suit, which was actually a bat.
It was actually beast. It was so good they turned it into its own character.
But with this, you give us number one, you picked the wrong character to do it with. If you want to give us a Batman who's not Batman, you have how many Robins did DC say they have now? 7?
Yeah, because you have Nightwing taking over Batman now anyway. So not only is it not unprecedented, it's almost goddamn commonplace.
It's logical. Making
Gordon,
it's just
all
around bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, not only is he old, but although I will give him credit, all of a sudden he's buff and beef and a martial arts expert.
For all that, they could have made Alfred Batman.
That's my point. It's like, how did he all of a sudden become the equal of Batman? If he was always the equal of Batman, Then why weren't the police winning left and right?
Why couldn't he beat the Joker?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, this is not the same. And yes, I get it. Different writers, different stories, different reads. But this is not the Batman. This is not the Jim Gordon we saw in The Killing Joke. You know, easily overpowered by the Joker and his thugs, stripped naked, tied up in a cart, and pushed to a madhouse.
Of his daughter's naked, paralyzed, bloody pictures.
Just to come out on the other side. I mean, yeah, mentally he held through, but how much longer would he have if Batman hadn't showed up and saved him?
Did he really mentally make it through that?
I mean, he did, because he didn't go insane, which was the whole point the Joker was trying to make.
But that's some scars.
Oh, I'm sure he had scars, but the point is he overcame it, and it didn't destroy him like the Joker was hoping it would. But still, Batman saved him. Like, that's the bottom line. Is the Joker could have continued theoretically indefinitely until it did work. Eventually, he was going to crack, but Batman saved him. You can't take that guy and then go and make him the Batman. He needed to be saved by Batman. He can't be Batman.
And it causes a ripple effect. You know what was so cool to me about Batman?
Nobody else could be Batman.
No.
I was always like, he was the perfect combination of elements.
The only person Superman was afraid of.
That's a good point.
And I know I have friends who are diehard Superman fans who are like, no, that's not true. Bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Superman is the entire Justice League is afraid of Batman.
Yeah,
and with good reason.
Because Batman knows how to defeat all of them.
Everybody.
He has contingency plans on all of them.
And not just one of them. He has a plan to beat everybody at the same time.
If need be.
If need be. Batman always had a plan. We got to see his Tut in Courthouse. Prime example of everything that made Batman Batman. He was trapped in the maze. He was losing his shit. And he still was working out a way to get the fuck out of there. He used like some filament from a fucking mirror and some other shit, made a bomb and blew a hole in the floor, and he got out. While he was in the middle of losing his shit.
He's Ninja MacGyver.
Exactly. Who the fuck is Gordon and why did you...
Right.
But what the fuck did he do?
That's what I meant when I said nobody can be Batman but Batman. Yeah, I mean, yes, he's a billionaire, and so that's necessary to afford all of the equipment, luxuries, but also the train. No, I get it. The Powers Corporation covering them. That's a cop-out answer. Okay, so let me get this straight. You reveal your secret identity, like in the first issue, so that you can get a corporate sponsor? Batman is an employee now?
Which means he's corruptible.
Exactly. There can be pressure applied.
I hate that you never
made
Batman corruptible.
And they're like, oh, well, Commissioner Gordon can always quit, but they own the fucking symbol now.
They fired Batman.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going to get to be Batman.
But that's the thing. They didn't fire Batman. They fired Gordon. They could still
being Batman.
They own Batman now. They could put any asshole they want as Batman, and it'd be a fish.
Horrid. It's a horrid idea. It was so bad.
And it's like, I kind of see in this issue, I think, what he's trying to do, which is he's trying to tell the difference between a superhero and a hero, or something like that. And basically saying that Batman is a superhero, but Bruce Wayne is a hero.
We already knew Batman was a superhero.
Yeah, but he's showing that Bruce Wayne is a separate character from Batman. Is a hero in and of his own self. I think.
Nobody wants that.
But, well, no. He's trying to give, I think, Bruce Wayne a new humanity that maybe was somewhat lacking. But more to your point, nobody wanted that shit.
Yeah.
Because we like Batman. We just wanted you to continue to tell cool stories about Batman.
He had just enough humanity. He was off and on banging Catwoman, who he loved, but he couldn't really quite be with. So he had the whole relationship thing set up. He's got 8 Robins to choose from, so he's kind of got kids/friends.
Sure.
He hangs out with the Justice League, even though they're afraid of him. So
he has team-ups.
His team-ups.
Allies. Yeah.
he had everything needed to put him in a situation where he had to make a hard choice. And I think when you try and build these relationships with these heroes, that's really the only reason you build them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come back later and say, what are you going to do if this person's in trouble? He had enough people for that. So you didn't need to make Bruce Wayne more human.
Yeah.
Whenever you see Bruce Wayne, he's depicted very human. Unless he's in the Batcave or with the Bat family.
Being Batman.
Being Batman.
Yeah.
Just being Batman outside of his costume. Any other time, he's just Bruce.
Yeah.
And that's always handled well, so you didn't need a whole book to do it.
Or arc in this case.
Yeah.
And I agree. I love the character in Mr. Bloom.
Mr. Bloom and the new Batsuit, only two things they got right.
I don't even. The Batsuit's alright. It's not bad. I don't dislike it.
I like it.
It's just not my favorite.
I like it.
And you know what, though? To be fair, part of that could be the fact that Gordon's the one wearing it.
Yeah, because you know Gordon's in it, and it kind of just...
He looks like such a skinny version of Batman. And I don't like that either. He looks very preteen young woman.
He looks
body.
like Batman if Tim Drake took over as Batman.
But that's a sad thought. But at least then it'd be Tim Drake.
Yeah, so it would work.
You would buy it. You would know it was Robin wearing Batman's suit. But you'd be like, well,
this is his attempt at being...
This is okay. But, and that's the other thing, is like, they're hinting at, okay, this Batman, I don't think this is what's going to happen. I think I know what's going to happen. But they're kind of playing it as, Batman's going to become this symbol. Like, that's how Powers is playing it up. He's going to be a symbol. We can take that symbol and basically copy a formula like a franchise where the Green Lantern City, there'll be a human Green Lantern Corps. And then in the Metropolis, there'll be a human Superman Corps using these robot monkey suits. And they'll just adopt whatever symbol is closest to that particular city, the Flash or whatnot, depending on the city, just like Batman. Just like they're trying to do in this Batman series. And so they're trying to take Batman as a symbol and spread it out. Which obviously, no, I think they're setting that up for failure on purpose. I think that's pretty obviously the bad guys in the Power Corporation. That's their plan. Where Gordon, as our hero, is trying to keep it pure. No, it's a one-man, one-on-one, this city, it's all part of that. But while they're doing all that and trying to define what the Batman is as a symbol and what that means, on the same hand, they have Bruce Wayne, which for the first time has a completely disconnected storyline, other than a shared past. And so they're looking at, okay, he's forgiving the killer of his parents. He wants to marry the daughter. Yeah, they get engaged in this issue. Really? And then you go into this idea of not only is he getting engaged, but he knew that it was her father that killed his parents. And, oh, by the way, he's coming up for parole in 2 months. Or 3 months, when supposedly y'all will already be married. He says, okay, give me 3 months and I'll go as your husband. So, because, when Bruce Wayne wants to get married, he wants to get married tomorrow. And I guess as a billionaire, you can afford to. He's got a beard. I don't like that at all. What is this about? This is not Batman. This is not Bruce Wayne.
Lumberjack.
The only thing that looks right, and this is really sad that I have to resort to this, the only thing that looks right on this man is his abs. His perfect chest and abs. Why is that the only thing I can appreciate? You know how sad that is? This is something I shouldn't be noticing, much less appreciating. I just, come on. Anyway,
You got a grown man looking at Batman's abs. I hope you're happy.
This is sad. I mean, they are pretty, again, I think they can come back from it. I think what's going to happen is it's going to build to a point where Batman's fiance is going to die. Hell, maybe they're going to let him get married. I don't know. Like, maybe they're going to take it that far. You're going to see Bruce Wayne getting married. Why not? And then they're going to kill the wife. She will die. It will crack him again. He'll regain his memory because of course he has amnesia. But you know what? He was a paraplegic. He came back from that. He can come back from amnesia. It's Bruce goddamn Wayne. So he's going to come back from this. even it's gonna, his wife's gonna die. He's gonna crack again. All the memories gonna rush back. He's gonna come back as a meaner, darker Batman. Gordon's gonna either die or get put in a damn hospital because he's incompetent, probably by Mr. Bloom, because I think he's all picking up steam pretty quickly. And Batman's just gonna come out ham, like hardcore. No, the Bruce Wayne's back, Batman's back, bitch. Everybody's going down.
I agree with most of that. I think
it should be Mr. Bloom that does this too. I think we're in that. I think we're close enough.
I think she gets like kidnapped or something.
No, I think they'll kill her.
And
maybe
the
not.
only way he gets her back is he has to go back to being.
He has to give her up to save her life.
Because remember, he had that machine that was supposed to make another one of him.
I don't know if he has that in this.
It was earlier in the story because I remember Superman came to Alfred to try to figure out what the fuck was going on with Bruce.
Yeah, because each version's a little worse than the one before. Yeah. Bruce Wayne's been dead for years. But that's not like a real canon storyline. Like that's
it's in Batman. It's in Snyder's Jim Gordon.
No, that was it. Was that canon now?
It's part of
the
arc. Yeah. So.
Really? I don't think I knew that. I apologize for my.
It was early. It was very early. It's like the second or third Gordon.
That's making it worse.
It was kind of like Superman was like, well, why don't we just fix him? And he's like, no, he's for the first time he's normal. He's living his life. He's happy. I want him to live. I'm not going to touch him. And I don't know if he threatens him with kryptonite. No, but he I can't remember if he pulled out kryptonite and said something like,
"Good night, Anthony. Get the fuck out."
No, it's something like, "I'm as powerless to change him as you are as powerless in front of kryptonite."
Wait. So the real Bruce Wayne is alive and well.
Yeah.
He's sending these clones out.
No, there are no clones.
What machine are you talking about? I thought you were the cloning machine.
Yeah, the cloning machine doesn't work though. It never worked. He didn't finish it. That was the whole thing about it. So I think they're going to use that to help him get his Batman brain back. Like they're going to reconfigure it so it just makes him Batman again. And then he goes about being Batman.
Wait. What is the cloning machine? Because I'm thinking of something completely different, which is why I was so confused. Because I was thinking of it was a strip I saw somewhere, and I definitely didn't think it was part of Snyder's run, where it was basically every time Batman comes back, he's tore up and beat up, that he just kills him and then pops the next one out the case.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's not what we're talking about.
No.
I was about to say, there's no way that's just canon.
No. There is literally, he made a machine that, in case anything ever happened to him, it would help the next person who was going to be Batman, like give them all the knowledge they needed, or.
Oh, it's not a cloning machine. It's just it's a matrix upload.
Well, it says it's cloning his brain and putting it.
No, it's inputting data. It doesn't make a new Bruce Wayne Batman. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. See, the one I was thinking of, and that's why I was confused. You said cloning. Well, threw me for a loop. I don't remember that shit.
Did it clone him? Was it supposed to clone him? I can't remember. But be that as it may, yeah, I think that's the way they're gonna go to get him his brain back or get him back to normal.
Yeah,
I do agree that Gordon's gonna end up dead or in a hospital.
Either one, I don't really care.
Mr. Bloom. I do believe this is a very dark time in Batman
coming up.
This has been
way too much happy.
Yeah,
it's a rubber band. It's gonna come back.
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't kill his girlfriend.
I think it will.
Wife, whatever. Because I don't
know maybe not. But
I don't need him to crack again.
I think they'd be kind of cool to watch him fall again.
No.
You don't want it to on a personal level because you're like, oh, he suffered so much. But on the other hand, it's like it is fun to watch. Because when he goes dark, that's what I'm saying. When he goes dark, he goes dark.
Yeah, he doesn't get too. He goes borderline villain dark.
I like that. I really like that when you see that side of him. like that is the scary Batman.
Yeah, but you're always like, all right.
He's still not a killer.
This is
Even
the
in his
moment
darkest
he
moments,
flips.
even in his darkest moments, he's not a rage killer. He's an intellect killer. He kills people because he has no other choice but to kill them. Generally, so he's not even in his darkest moments. He's still not a killer. So it's okay to empathize with him. He go mess you up.
Well, I don't know. Which actually segues into our next topic. We got to run low on time. He's a god now.
Well, not in this series.
Not in this series because
That's the thing. You got a whole other Batman.
we're done with this god awful Snyder run. You call me when it's Bruce again and he fucking shaves.
It's getting a lot of rave reviews though.
On to something because the book isn't even selling.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
You know why? Because it's fucking Jim Gordon.
Yeah, I agree. That they need to wrap that shit up. They need to do it quickly.
Yes. They got like 4 issues, and then
Yeah, and everybody's like, well, why is the artist is leaving the run? I'm like, why? You had such a great run, and because he's not drawing Batman anymore.
he's drawing Jim Gordon.
That's why he's drawing mechanized robot suits.
Could you imagine that meeting? Hey, we like you to draw for Batman. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Cool, but here's the thing: you won't be drawing Bruce Wayne as Batman.
What do you mean? As like one of
He's gonna
Robin?
be drawing Batman, but it won't be Bruce Wayne.
No.
No. Have you ever seen Appleseed?
No.
Well, here, watch this anime. See that robot there? I need you to make a Batman version for me. Can you draw that?
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm drawing. Yeah, I mean it's neck quarters.
Yeah.
I'm drawing neck quarters.
Yeah.
It's getting uncomfortable and weird. I don't like this interview.
Sorry.
But at any rate, I see what your point. Yeah, no, it's kind of he's got to be like, look, I had such a great run, it was so much fun, and now I'm drawing the toys. I don't want it anymore. Anyway, go ahead. So yes, on the other end of the multiverse, you have God Batman, who
is one of
flips his shit, by the way.
guys.
I think he's a villain at this point. He's gonna be one of those people that is so cold and calculated that they turn into a villain.
I think he's going to go kill the Joker.
I think it's bigger than that.
And here's why. Here's one thing. I think he's going to do something to the Joker, and if we're going to get a definite origin or
Definite origin. They're saying it, but it's not gonna
history
happen.
for the Joker,
It's not gonna happen.
I think this is where we'll get that bit of history. We might not get the whole story, but in Green Lantern, who is, by the way, also a god, the god of light now.
Well,
At least
for like a minute,
yeah, he
gives it up.
Spoiler alert.
Too late. We already spoiled
Fuck
it.
you, Hal Jordan, you wuss.
He became a
Become
god
of light.
just to
give it
destroy
up.
the power of the god. It's dumb. It's like he
Wuss.
goes, "I have all infinite power. Hey, can I get rid of this power and make it so nobody has it? Yes, you have infinite power.
Bah.
Do that." It's like,
Say the word. Bingo.
how ridiculous is that?
Douche. But he said something. He was like, and it's ironic what he did actually.
Hey, hold it back then.
He was like, nobody deserves that much pain. He's like, I know what Batman's gonna do now. And nobody deserves that much pain. I have to stop him.
Yeah.
So that's what leads me to believe.
So you're thinking that when he said nobody deserves
to
that
the
much
Joker.
pain, you're thinking that Batman is just going to inflict some kind of horrible torture upon the Joker
Yes.
directly, and Hal Jordan is rushing back to it to say, do you really think that's it?
But I think
Do you think that's big enough?
Yes, and here's why. Because if Batman does it, that will be him essentially crossing the line he would never cross. Because whatever that torture will be, it will kill the Joker. And Batman will be a murderer after that. He will be the one thing he didn't want to be.
But he's already killed. That's not even a thing.
He kills when he has to. When they're
But he would probably argue with his infinite knowledge that he does have to prevent whatever outcome it is he's trying to prevent.
But now, having the intelligence of pretty much the knowledge of everything, he can stop it before it happens without doing it, without killing. And
That's
stop
close.
it. I think this is more of a mission to save Batman from himself than saving anybody else.
Maybe. All we know is Hal Jordan's going to intersect with him. And it'll be God versus Green Lantern.
This is what was stupid, Hal. You have the power of a god. You knew what he was going to do.
So why wouldn't you use it against him first?
Yes. Stop him.
Because he clearly knows
your
you're
godlike
coming.
power.
Yeah, now he knows you're coming. He knows what you're going to do.
And he's way more powerful than you.
And smarter than you. He was already smarter than you. That was before he had infinite knowledge. At least then you would have infinite power to try to attack him with. Now you have nothing. What are you going to use? The power of friendship, probably. Justice League is similar.
I will.
You know,
I will you to be my friend.
Here's the thing. Yeah, let me talk to your inner self, Chris. Can you hear me?
He's
Back to when you were
gonna
young.
pull a Captain Planet. Heart.
Oh, gosh. This show is so bad.
I love that show as a kid.
Show's so
That
bad.
was a great show for children.
I guess. Anyway. I don't even, that totally threw me off. I don't even know what we were talking about. I have a point I was going to make, and you ruined it for me with your damn Captain Planet. No, alright, on that note. Shut up. On that note, if you're still watching, I don't know, why don't you go out and get a life, because I feel bad for you. I feel bad for myself. Have a good evening.
Are we signing off?
I'm signing off.
Oh, okay, well. Later, bitches.
Peace. You said we're running.